Super powerful. Okay. As we're nearing the end here, what advice would you guys give to our listeners around transforming their self-talk?
I'll tie it back to taking a look at what what's in your environment, who's in your environment, and what you're consuming. Learning how to seek and embrace a growth mindset, which can be really overwhelming for people, but choosing a few very small things that you could start to implement in your day-to-day, and focusing really on learning and improvement rather than fixing yourself. And tying that into embracing challenges and seeking growth, getting to the point where you almost crave that discomfort because you know that it's going to make you a better person.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
There's a great book, The Inner Game of Tennis, and people think it's a tennis book, and it's not.
The name.
Be a little out of context.
Let's, from a marketing perspective, whoever came up with that title, then
The Inner
it's
Game
about
of Tennis,
basketball.
and it's a book written by a tennis instructor.
Oh, there you go.
And it's still not about tennis. A guy who has trained all kinds of great tennis players, and he talks about the notion of the game is won right here. Before it's ever right. And so the notion of, and it's a really good book around changing. It's all around the inner critic and how you kick out the inner critic, how you give the inner critic the walking papers, as you'll say. And I would say is the advice I would give to people is start with just one or two words that you're finding yourself. Don't feel like you need to change the game, all of it.
You don't do it all at once.
You don't do it all. Start with a few words and just say, over the next 3-4 months, my goal is to see these words eliminated from my vocabulary.
Yeah. And I would say even not just the words that you speak, but how you speak to yourself.
Yeah. Totally.
Be conscious of the tone. Be conscious of the spirit in which what's behind that self-talk. Yeah. Talk to yourself like you would your own child. If your child fell down and skinned their knee, would you scold them and yell at them and call them a loser? Or would you help them? Would you speak kindly to them? If your best friend was struggling with something horrible, going through terrible pain, again, would you judge them? Would you condemn them? Would you attack them? Or would you speak love and encouragement and life to them? If we can do that to others, if we were able to turn that around, even 10 or 20% in our own direction, and start being more kind to ourselves, more compassionate in our own direction, that is a game changer.
Wow. I so believe your brain, just like every thought you have, you will believe. So I love what you said about being kind to yourself. Be kind to how you speak to yourself. If you tell yourself you're tired, you're going to be tired. If you tell yourself I feel energized, you're going to be energized at the end of the day. There's a quote from Buddha. I'm going to read it because I do love it. And I thought it was really fitting for this as we near the end of the show is what you think, you become, what you feel, you attract, and what you imagine, you create.
Oh, so good.
And I thought it was just such a powerful quote.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Excellent.